It happened. It happened. Yes, it happened. I got a letter saying I'm going to get audited. Okay. I don't have anything to hide. I'm good. Audited? Let's roll. I'm keeping my books good, man. Like, I'm being honest. I'm not afraid of an audit. So I got on the phone with the auditor, scheduled a date. We scheduled on a Wednesday. He came over. I brought all my records, which I do all my payroll through a company named Paychex. Paychex or ADP. Those are the two big ones. And I had all the records there, blah, blah, blah. He came over. He looked at everything. He was a guy from State Fund. This is a payroll audit. This is a payroll audit for workman's comp. Okay? All they want is the records. I gave him everything. He looked at everything and he said, oh yeah, everything checks out. He's very chill. I was like, oh man, this guy's hella cool. I'm like, I'm gonna be good. Maybe they're gonna, he said, we're gonna look over the numbers. It's either you're gonna owe us a little bit of money or we're gonna owe you a little bit of money. And I was like, all right. I hope they owe me a little money. I'm good with that. Pay me up, son. There goes a month. There goes 2 months. And then a little bit later, I get a letter in the mail. Boom. It said, this is your notice for your audit statement. I said, okay. I look at everything. I'm like, okay, policy, date, source, audit. And then it said, a reported payroll, $513,820. And then it says payroll audited, $521,614. And they said a base rate, and then the base rate times the premium, and then the premium modified, $107,390. And then they gave me a little bit of a discount. They hooked me up. They brought it down $12,000. So now the bill is $95,820.09. That 9 cents is very important. So the first reaction I got when I looked at this, I'm like, bro, there's no way. Like this gotta be a mistake. This has to be a mistake. Like it's impossible. 100 grand, like 95, let's round it up. You know what I mean? Who cares? What's 5 grand? 100 grand? I'm like, first thing I'm looking, you know when you look at something and like, you don't believe it, you're like, look at this, what? No. And then like butterflies start going up, your face starts getting red, your palms start getting a little bit sweaty, and you just go into straight up denial. I was like, no, this is wrong. This is not for me. This is for someone else. I keep looking at the name. I'm like, oh, Tigran Gertz. Oh, okay. My address. Okay, San Jose. State Fund. I look at my policy number. I look at my email policy number. Everything matches up. I'm like, this has to be a mistake. There's no way. I call the guy. I'm like, hey, Bob. You came over and we talked. We sat down. I showed you all this stuff, and I got a bill for $95,000, 95 large. I'm like, there's a mistake, right? There's got to be a mistake. And he's like, no, that's what you owe us. I'm like, but what have I been paying you all along? He said, yeah, you've been paying us, but you haven't paid us enough. I'm like, what? So I went from denial to angry. I went from confused to denial to angry. And now I'm in the state of, really? Now I'm just trying to make sense of it. I'm like, how is this possible? How did I rack up so much? Very disappointing. This is why I recommend hiring an agent. An agent that will shop around for you for better prices. So my first initial response was, I called them and I'm like, look, State Fund, I'm like, I appreciate everything you guys have done, but keep in mind, I have never filed a claim with you for a workman's comp. Ever. I've never filed a claim. No one's ever got hurt. You know, there's been little things here and there, like a little cut finger, baby stuff. Never filed a claim. I said, I've been in business for 5 years. I've never filed a claim with you. Nothing ever has gone wrong. And they said, we don't care. We need our money. So I went into negotiation mode. And I'm like, all right, well, I don't know how to break it to you. I don't have 100 grand to spend. I can't just give you 100 grand. I can't write you a check for 100 grand. And she's like, well, we can put you on a payment schedule, and you'll make payments for us and there's going to be an interest, I think like 10% interest. So it's going to be 95 grand plus 10%, another 95, another 10 grand. I'm like, no, bro. I'm like, I can't do that. Just cut me a deal. Cut me a deal. I'm not going to do that. They won't cut deals. It's pretty funny. People should know this. In the state of California, if you don't have workman's comp, it's going to say on your license that you don't have workman's comp. And that's a problem, because when customers look at your license and everything, and it's going to say workman's comp, NA, not available, or inactive. That's a big deal, especially if you have employees working for you. So I know a lot of people do that, and it's not very smart, because even though this place scammed me, my opinion, you can have your own opinion, or State Fund is watching this, they can have their own opinion. By the way, I don't use State Fund anymore. I've transitioned into something better. But I mean, there's a premium, man. They provide a service, they provide an umbrella, so I can't really hate on that. I was just, you feel my pain. 100 grand like that. So I told him, I'm like, look, I can't make the payments. I can't do this. I'm like, I don't have 100 grand. You're gonna have to do something. Lower the price. I can't do it. They wouldn't lower the price. They said, look, you have 90 days to make a payment, or we're suspending your workman's comp. I'm like, damn it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'll call you tomorrow. I mean, I had the 100 grand. I just didn't want to spend it. You know what I mean? It's just, I worked so hard to get that 100 grand. And I called them like, I want to put everything on the credit card. At least I'll get points, right? And they said, we don't do that. We can only put like 30,000 on a credit card. I said, okay, fine. Put the 30 grand on a credit card, and then I'll write you a check for the rest. It was a very, very horrible experience. Very horrible experience. But I had to do it. This is why I always say, having money sitting around in a bank account is, a lot of people say, oh, it's just dead money, T. You don't need to do that. You should have all your money invested. Okay, I believe in investments, but I don't believe in having zero cash liquid at any time. That's dumb. Imagine if I had zero liquid, if I had very poor money management skills, and I was going around and blowing money everywhere, and then this bill comes up, I'm in a bit of a pickle. You got a problem. You got a big problem. And I don't want to have those types of problems. So that's why I say you always have to prepare for stuff. Prepare for stuff, because things happen. Stupid stuff happens. And when stupid stuff happens, you got to be ready. You got to have liquid. You got to have cash. You got to be able to man up and write the damn check. Even though, as much as I did not want to write this check at all, but I had to. And keep in mind, the reason that it was so high is because in the beginning of the year, they ask you, what is your estimated payroll? And I probably told them 100 grand, which when I first started the company, that's what it was, 100 grand, maybe. But as time went on, the company grew, started hiring more people, started working more hours, and everything increased. So then, this is important. Is what it is. This was last year, so I'm not really tripping that much. But I just want to make a video, share my experience. Go get an agent for a workman's comp and have them shop prices. This is why I always say in the first year, no matter what you do, get workman's comp. Get workman's comp, because they're going to give you a high rate off the bat. But if you only do 100 grand in payroll the first year, even if they charge you 20%, you're only going to pay 20 grand. But imagine if you don't have workman's comp, and then boom, you hit it, you're doing like 500-600 grand a year in payroll, and then they're going to hit you with the 20%. That's 120,000, boy. That's a problem. Start paying the workman's comp in the beginning so your premium is high, but as time goes on, your premium lowers, and get an agent and have the agent shop around. Get the best deal. Okay, workman's comp is all the same. And by the way, hopefully you never use it. I never use it, but it is there, and it's here, and it separates me from the person who doesn't have it. And this is why I see it a lot of time. People are going out and they're lowballing. Like, I'm doing a bid for pavers, and I'm talking to the guy, and he's like, how much per square foot? And I said, 18 to 20 bucks minimum, depending on the paver you choose. Well, I can get this guy to do it for $14. Well, that's great. Hire him. Why are we talking? If you get $14, do it. That's what I told the guy. This is why I qualify over the phone before me even going to their house. It's very important. If you're in the lawn care and landscaping thing, you can do everything on Google Maps. You can give people prices right off the bat. But typically, I always talk to the people over the phone. They say, hey, hi Applewood, I'm looking to get pavers done. I said, great, how many square feet of pavers? It's a very important question you gotta ask. How many square feet? And they say 1,000 square feet. I said, good. Based on 1,000 square feet, our average is around 20 bucks a square. It's gonna be around 20,000. I'm just seeing how they feel about that number. It might be less, it might be more, I don't know. But if they react to 20 bucks a square foot, we got a problem. And most of the time, the people that do react to $20 a square foot, that's not an ideal customer for me. You have to always you as a business owner always have to have an ideal customer. So the guy called me, he's like, hey, I want to get pavers done. I said, great, how many square feet? He said 1,000 or 2,000, whatever. I said, awesome. Based on 1,000 square feet, it's gonna be around 20 bucks a square. He said, well, I can get this guy down the street to do it for 14. And I said, well, that's gravy. Call him up, tell him he's hired. Matter of fact, give me his number. I guess the guy lost his number. He couldn't call him up. I don't know. Then he told me, oh, the guy moved. He's in Mexico now. Well, I mean, why are you comparing his 14 to my 20, dog? You know what I mean? So people will lie to you. Just stand your ground, know your prices, know everything, and usually the person that's charging 14 bucks a square for pavers, they probably don't have something called workman's comp. They probably don't have something called general liability. They probably don't pay them taxes. And that's a no-go in America. You gotta follow the rules. America is a land of following the rules or you get capped. And I'm not trying to get capped. So do the right thing, pay your taxes, get your workman's comp, get general liability, and most importantly, blow up your business. I go more about this into the finance program that I made. The link is gonna be down below. If you want it, it's gonna be 50% off right now. Hook up. It's like an hour and a half of me talking about money, how I started. It's a really good program. How I started, how I pay people, how I talk to customers. It's really good. It's really good. It's a very good program. Anyway, man up. I wrote the check for 95 grand and it was gone just like that. So it is what it is. Just remember, and if you get uncomfortable with writing checks for 95 grand, guess what? People are gonna get uncomfortable writing checks for 95 grand to you. But this, you saw my emotions. I went from confusion, denial, angry, and just bleh, write the check and get it over with, move on. This is what it is. You gotta do it. Anyway, peace out. Hook up on the program. It's money. Literally money. I talk about money, I talk about finances. It's awesome. Very high rated program. Other than that, I'll catch you on the next video. Peace.